So hello everyone, once again welcome back to our channel English Grammar and Literature World. Dear students, in today's class we are going to cover some important questions from one-word substitution based on previous year questions of various competitive exams. So if you are specially preparing for exams like SSC, CGL, CHSL, banking, railway and state competitive exams, then this class will be very important for you. So without further delay, let's begin today's class. Look at the first one. A serpent with many heads is called. So the correct answer is option C, that is Hydra. Look, Hydra is the mythical many-headed serpent of Greek mythology. Okay, but python, cobra and anaconda are real snake and do not possess multiple heads. That's why only option C, Hydra, is the correct answer. Understand? Next one. One who travels from place to place. So what is called? The correct answer is option D, that is itinerant. So look, an itinerant travels from place to place, often for work. Okay, but a nomad has no permanent home. Resident and settler stay in only one place. Okay, that's why options A, B, C are not the correct answer. So only D, and that is itinerant, is the correct one-word substitution. Next, one who fights for the sake of money. So what is the correct one-word substitution? Here the correct answer is option C, and that is mercenary. Okay, a mercenary fights primarily for payment rather than loyalty or patriotism. Understand? But patriots, crusader and volunteers fight for ideals, fight for faith, or you can say fight for service. Okay, so only option C, mercenary, is the correct answer. Next, a lady's umbrella. So this one is very important. So what is the correct one-word substitution? A lady's umbrella, generally called option B, that is parasol. Okay, so a parasol is a lightweight umbrella used mainly by women for protection for the sun. So option B, and that is parasol, is the correct answer. Next, getting the signature of some important person in his handwriting. I think you people know the correct answer because this one is very common term, and that is option C, autograph. Okay, an autograph is the genuine handwritten signature of a famous or notable person. Okay, but biography, manuscript and monograph refers to different kind of written works. Okay, next, speaking disrespectful about sacred or religious things is called. So here the correct answer is option A, and that is blasphemy. Blasphemy means speaking irreverently about God or sacred matters. Okay, but look at the option B, that is sacrilege. Sacrilege involves violating sacred object. Okay, while autopsy and heresy concern religious beliefs. That's why only options A, blasphemy, is the correct answer. Next, anything tending to move away from the center. So what is called? So look, something tending to move away from the center, that is called option B, centrifugal. Okay, centrifugal means moving away from the center. And what is centripetal? So centripetal means moving towards the center. Okay, while central and concentric has different meaning. Okay, so only option B, centrifugal, is the correct answer. Next, anything tending to move towards the center. So I have already told you, here the correct answer is option C, that is centripetal. Centripetal is totally opposite of centrifugal. Okay. So centripetal refers to motion direct towards the center, while centrifugal is the opposite. Understand? Next. A game is which no party wins. So what is the situation? So that situation is called option A, draw. Okay, I think there is no need to explain. Everybody knows the answer. Next. A long narrative poem. So what is called a long narrative poem? So that is called option D, epic. Okay. So an epic is lengthy narrative poem. Lengthy narrative poem. Okay. Describing heroic deeds or historic events. So a sonnet, ballad and ode are different poetic form. That's why only option D, epic, is the correct answer. Next. Constitutional right to cast a vote. So what is called? Here the correct answer is option D, and that is franchise. Okay. Franchise means the legal or constitutional rights to vote. Next. A noisy and loud speech before a large gathering is called. So the correct answer is option B, and that is harangue. So look, what is the meaning of the word harangue? A harangue is a loud, okay, loud, forceful, and often aggressive speech. Okay, so that is called harangue. Oration, lecture and sermon is not the correct answer. Okay, so look at the next one. A school for small children. So what is called? So the correct answer is option A, that is kindergarten. Kindergarten is an educational institution for young children before primary school. Okay, but nursery, Montessori and crèche have different educational or child care roles. That's why they are not the correct answer. Okay, so option A, only kindergarten, is the correct answer. Next. A sensational dramatic piece with crude appeals to the emotions and usually a happy ending is called. So option C, and that is melodrama, is the correct answer. Look, a melodrama uses exaggerated emotions and sensational events to certain audience. Okay, usually ending happily. Understand? Next. An examination of the body after death is called. So this one is also very important, and this one is very simple. One word substitution. The correct answer is option D, and that is autopsy. An autopsy is the medical examination of a human body after death or determine the cause of death. Understand? Next. An imaginary name assumed by the author to disguise himself. What is called? Here the correct answer is option D, that is pseudonym. So look, a pseudonym is an assumed name used by an author for publication. So here option A, Alice, sobriquet and pen name is not appropriate. Okay. Next. One who speak on behalf of another. What is called? So the correct answer is option C, and that is spokesperson. So look, a spokesperson officially represent and speak for another person, or you can say organization. Okay, on behalf of organization. So that is called spokesperson. But a mediator settles disputes, a delegate represents, and interpreter translate languages. Understand? Next. Occurring two or more events at the same time. So what is called? This one is also very important. So the correct answer is option A, that is simultaneous. Simultaneous means happening exactly at the same time. Okay. While successive and consecutive occur one after another. That's why they are not the correct answer. Okay, next. Passing of the soul from one body to another after death is called. So the correct answer is option C, and that is metempsychosis. Okay, so metempsychosis is the correct answer. So metempsychosis specially refers to the transmigration of the soul into another body after death. Next, one who always thinks that he is ill. So what is called? So the correct answer is option D, and that is hypochondriac. Hypochondriac persistently believes they are seriously ill despite little or no medical evidence. But other options have different medical meanings. That's why they are not the correct answer. Next. A well and long experienced person in a particular occupation is called. So the correct answer is option C, that is veteran. Okay. A veteran has long practical experience in a profession or activity. A novice is inexperienced. An amateur lacks professionalism and expert emphasis skills. Okay, next. One devoted to the welfare of women. So this one is also very important. So the correct answer is option D, that is feminist. Okay, a feminist supports women's right and equality. Okay, but humanitarian, philanthropist, and reformer does not match. Okay, that's why we have to eliminate these options. Next, one who is taking an examination. What is called? So here the correct answer is option C, that is examinee. Okay, so an examinee is a person who is taking or sitting for an examination. Understand? An examiner sets or marks papers. An invigilator supervises the exams. So that's why only option C is the correct answer. Next. One who examines the answer script of examinees. What is called? So here the correct answer is option D, that is examiner. Okay. So here an examiner evaluates and marks answer script. Understand? Next. Person working in the same office. I think if people know what is the correct answer, the correct answer is option B, and that is colleague. Colleague are people working together in the same workplace or profession. Okay, but companions, associates, and partners totally different. Okay, next. Look, this is the last one. A person representing a state in a foreign country. What is called? Is it counsel? Is it diplomat? Is it envoy? Or is it ambassador? So what is the correct answer? You have to tell me in the comment section. So students, here are total 26 questions which are very important and based on previous year questions of various competitive exams. So that's all for today, and also the PDF of this class will be available in our official Telegram channel, and the link of the Telegram channel is given in description. You can check it out. That's all for today. Till then, keep reading, keep writing, and keep watching English Grammar and Literature World. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.